I'm not saying that I'm nosy, but I was sitting outside a coffee shop recently and I couldn't help but overhear the conversation on the next table. The boy was getting visibly frustrated with his friend who kept interrupting him until she came out with the most genius apology of all time. I know. I'm sorry, I keep butting in. It's just that I'm a fast listener. And all I could do was laugh, because deep down, I know I'm guilty of the same thing. And if you care to admit it, you'll recognize what's going on here too. What am I talking about? Listening for the sole purpose of replying. In other words, listening to the other person only to give them your point of view and steer the conversation your direction. Frustrating in a coffee shop chat, yes. But what about in your relationships at work? When you're in a conversation and you hear something that gives you an idea, is that the moment that you tune out and start to formulate your killer response in your own mind? I'm a communications coach, and not once in 6 years have I taken a call from someone asking, could you help me to listen better? Listening is an invisible act of leadership. We do it without even being conscious of it. But the reality is, you and I both have what I like to call a curiosity budget. In other words, a limited capacity to focus on all that's going on around us. We live in a busy world full of things that irritate us and phone notifications. And if you're not careful, all of those distractions can leach away at your precious curiosity without you even noticing. What might happen if you were to spend some of that curiosity on your relationships at work? What might that change? Last year, I became a Samaritan listening volunteer. That means I'm now trained as a professional listener. But becoming a Samaritan is something that I've put off for a very long time. You see, 18 years ago, my sister took her own life. And ever since, I've thought about what it might take to listen to others who just want to talk. But the truth is, I put it off. I was scared. I was afraid to do it. I thought that I would be no good. I was afraid that when it came to it, I wouldn't know what to say, that when it really mattered, I wouldn't know how to listen. But becoming a Samaritan has had impacts on my life that I never could have dreamed of. It's changed some of my closest relationships. And that shift for me has come from having the confidence to be curious. Sometimes you need to ask the impossible question, ditch any intention to reply, and just tune in and listen. Let me ask you now for a moment to visualize your most challenging relationship. I'm talking about the person who, on a regular basis, causes you anxiety or frustration or even anger. Put them in your mind's eye. How do you have a conversation in situations or with people that you can't control? Well, here are 3 habits that I've developed from being a Samaritan for my life that I'd like to share. 1, be present. Stop stressing about the row that you had this morning. Stop worrying about the bank loan that's due next week. Find a simple, easy routine to ground yourself before every meeting. Maybe breath work, something that works for you. Be in the moment. 2, ditch the assumptions. Your opinion, no matter how valid, is just one perspective to be tested against the evidence. 3, and this one might be the hardest. Get out of your own way. You might be afraid that if you don't chime in the moment an idea comes to you, that you'll be left with nothing intelligent to say when it's your turn to speak. Trust yourself and try asking a question instead. Because nothing changes until you do. What would be so bad about taking that relationship, that one, the one I asked you to think about, and investing some of your curiosity budget? What freedom might that buy you? Thank you for listening to me today.